Battle of Carthage. Divided state, divided souls. Imagine two neighboring farmers. One swears by planting corn, the other insists only wheat will feed the land. This parable is not just about farmers. It is the story of Missouri in 1861. A state divided, a people torn, and a clash near Carthage that would echo across the Civil War. Picture it, July 5th, 1861. The Missouri sun is blazing down like it's auditioning for the role of angry furnace. Farmers are sweating, horses are sweating, and soldiers, well, they're about to sweat bullets, literally. Near the town of Carthage, an ordinary summer day is about to be rewritten with cannon fire, musket smoke, and the kind of chaos that makes you wonder if anyone packed sunscreen. Missouri was the ultimate Civil War paradox. It was a border state, torn between North and South, like a teenager stuck between divorced parents. St. Louis leaned Union thanks to its German immigrant population and strong economic ties to the North. Meanwhile, the rural counties were all about Southern culture, agrarian life, and the Confederacy. The result? Missouri became a miniature version of the national tragedy. Neighbors glaring at neighbors, families divided, and everyone armed to the teeth. Claiborne Fox Jackson, Missouri's pro-Southern governor, was born in 1806 in Kentucky. He was ambitious, fiery, and had the kind of name that sounds like it belongs to a gunslinger in a spaghetti western. Jackson believed secession was the only way to preserve Missouri's way of life. Translation: keep the state aligned with Southern traditions and slavery. He wasn't just a politician. He was a schemer, a man who saw himself as Missouri's Confederate champion. On the other side stood Franz Sigel, a German-born Union colonel. Sigel had fled Europe after failed revolutions in 1848, bringing with him a love for liberty and a knack for military strategy. To Missouri's German immigrants, he was a hero, a man who embodied their belief that the Union was indivisible, a shining beacon worth defending. Sigel was disciplined, pragmatic, and had the kind of accent that probably made his orders sound twice as intimidating. The powder keg blew with the Camp Jackson affair in May 1861. Union forces captured a pro-Southern militia camp near St. Louis, sparking outrage. Pro-Southern citizens rallied to Jackson's banner, while Union supporters doubled down on their loyalty to the Stars and Stripes. Missouri descended into chaos, armed skirmishes, divided towns, and loyalties that shifted faster than Missouri weather. Governor Jackson, realizing he couldn't hold St. Louis, fled south toward Arkansas, gathering thousands of volunteers along the way. They were poorly equipped, think pitchforks, squirrel rifles, and whatever could shoot or stab, but they were determined. Sigel, commanding about 1,100 German immigrants, was ordered to intercept Jackson. What followed was a cat-and-mouse chase across Missouri, with Jackson trying to rally support and Sigel determined to cut him off. The morning of July 5, 1861 dawned hot and heavy, the Missouri sun pressing down like a blacksmith's hammer. By noon, the outskirts of Carthage were alive not with cicadas and farm sounds, but with the crackle of musket fire and the thunder of cannons. The chase reached Carthage. Jackson, with 4,500 men, decided to make a stand. He positioned his troops on a ridge south of town, hoping to lure Sigel into a trap. Sigel, approaching from the north, realized he was outnumbered, but trusted in his men's superior training and artillery. The battle began with thunder on the prairie, Union cannons roaring, shells exploding, Confederate lines shaking but holding firm. Sigel, ever the strategist, ordered a flanking maneuver, hoping to outsmart Jackson's. The clash was fierce. Smoke, chaos, and the kind of noise that made even the cows run for cover. Union soldiers under Colonel Franz Sigel, your Franz Sigel, marched with discipline, their German immigrant ranks steady as clockwork. They poured musket fire into the advancing lines of the Missouri State Guard, who, though less trained, fought back with raw ferocity. The air was a chaotic symphony. Smoke curling skyward, the deafening roar of artillery, and the cries of men locked in close combat. Union cannons belched fire, raining shells onto Confederate positions. Yet Jackson's men, stubborn as Missouri mules, refused to break. They fought with grit, their lines holding even as casualties mounted. The battlefield became a swirling storm of confusion. Smoke obscured vision, musket balls whizzed past ears, and bayonets clashed in brutal hand-to-hand fighting. Horses bolted, wagons overturned, and the prairie grass was trampled into mud and blood. Sigel, confident in his artillery, attempted a flanking maneuver to outsmart Jackson's larger force. But the Confederates anticipated his move, and the maneuver faltered. Ammunition dwindled, men fell, and the Union line began to fray. By late afternoon, Sigel realized the grim truth. His flanking attempt had failed, his men were exhausted, and his supplies were nearly gone. Reluctantly, he ordered a withdrawal northward. The Missouri State Guard, battered but unbroken, stood victorious on the field. Jackson's men, though bloodied, had won a symbolic triumph. The Union retreat left the Confederates in possession of the battlefield, their morale soaring. News of the Confederate victory spread like wildfire across Missouri. For the South, it was proof that their cause was alive and kicking. Recruitment surged. Farm boys, townsmen, and die-hard secessionists flocked to Jackson's banner. For the Union, the defeat was a sobering reminder of the challenges ahead. Missouri was no easy prize. Its divided loyalties and guerrilla-style warfare would plague the state for years. The Battle of Carthage was not the largest or bloodiest of the Civil War, but it was pivotal. It marked the beginning of Missouri's long descent into chaos, a patchwork of skirmishes, raids, and divided communities. Its legacy is a reminder of the Civil War's complexity. Not just North versus South, but neighbor versus neighbor, ideology versus ideology. And that's the story of Carthage: smoke, thunder, and the stubborn will of men who refused to yield. Echoes of Carthage remind us of the human cost of war. Let us know your thoughts on the Battle of Carthage in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you have sure ideas, we'd love to hear from you.